Naxalism in India is a powerful reminder of the urgent need to address deep socio-economic inequalities, resolve land disputes, and uplift marginalized tribal communities. Naxalism, which is also referred to as Naxal, Naxalite, or Naxalwadi, represents militant left-wing movements active across various parts of India under diverse organizational structures. Originating in Naxalbari, a village in Darjeeling district, West Bengal, the movement began in 1967 under the leadership of Charu Majumdar, Jangal Santhal, and Kanu Sanyal. Initially localized in West Bengal, it later expanded to less developed rural regions of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh, primarily through underground organizations like the Communist Party of India Maoist. Naxalism meaning Naxalism refers to the militant left-wing movement in India rooted in communist ideologies. It aims to address social and economic inequalities through armed struggle. Naxalism operates under various organizational frameworks across India and remains a persistent internal security challenge. Naxalism in India Naxalism in India refers to the far left Maoist insurgency that originated in Naxalbari, West Bengal in 1967. It seeks to overthrow the state through armed rebellion, primarily operating in the Red Corridor. Rooted in socio-economic disparities, it remains a major internal security challenge despite sustained counter-insurgency efforts. In 2014, 126 districts in 10 states were classified as the most affected. In early 2025, this count is down to 12, the majority being in Bastar. History of Naxalism in India History of Naxalism in India began in 1967 with the Naxalbari uprising, later spreading across India. Despite government crackdowns and factional splits, it evolved into CPI Maoist and remains an ongoing socio-political and security challenge. Origins in Naxalbari uprising 1967. The movement began with a peasant revolt in Naxalbari village, West Bengal, led by communist leaders against local landlords. The revolt protested exploitative practices and demanded land reforms. Formation of CPI Maximist Leninist 1969. Following ideological splits within the Communist Party of India, Marxist leaders like Charu Majumdar and Kanu Sanyal established the Communist Party of India, Marxist-Leninist, to pursue armed revolution. It spread to other states 1970s. The Naxalite movement expanded beyond West Bengal to rural areas in states such as Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, and Madhya Pradesh, gaining support among marginalized communities. Government crackdown and operational steeplechase 1971-1972. The Indian government launched military operations to suppress Naxalite activities, resulting in the arrest and death of key leaders including Charu Majumdar in 1972. Emergence of new groups 1980s to 1990s. Despite setbacks, factions like the People Wars Group (PWG) and Maoist Communist Center (MCC) emerged, continuing insurgent activities and advocating Maoist ideologies. Formation of CPI Maoist 2004. The PWG and MCC merged to formed the Communist Party of India, Maoist, intensifying insurgency efforts and consolidating influence in the Red Corridor. Government countermeasures 2000 to present. The Indian government has implemented security operations and development initiatives to address Naxalism, aiming to curb violence and address underlying socio-economic issues. Phases of Naxalism in India Phases of Naxalism in India include emergence, regrouping and expansion, and consolidation marked by armed struggle, ideological shift, and state response. Combining force and development, the growth and evolution of Naxalism in India, commonly referred to as left-wing extremism, can be categorized into three distinct phases. Phase 1 Naxalbari and early struggles 1967 to 1974. Phase 1 of Naxalism in India was started with the Naxalbari uprising 1967, which crystallized after police fired on protesting peasants in Naxalbari village, Darjeeling, West Bengal on May 25, 1967. Leaders like Charu Majumdar, Jangal Santhal, and Kanu Sanyal mobilized landless peasants to seize landlords' land and branding them as class enemies. Formation of CPI Marxist-Leninist led by Charu Majumdar, the Communist Party of India, Marxist-Leninist was established in 1969. Inspired by the Communist Party of China ideology, the CPI-ML rejected the electoral process and promoted violent revolution to achieve political goals. This was the first major instance of an armed peasant uprising post-independence, post Charu Majumdar's death. The party lacked credible leadership, was fragmented, and was eventually reorganized as CPI-ML Liberation in 1974. Groups like CPI-ML, Satyanarayana Singh Group, and factions led by Asim Chatterjee and Santosh Rana emerged. Impact of emergency in 1975. The movement faced severe repression with around 40,000 cadres imprisoned. Phase 2. Revival and strategic expansion 1980s. Phase 2 of Naxalism in India was marked by a re-emergence in a more violent form, extending its influence from West Bengal to Bihar, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh following the strategy of a protracted war. Formation of People Wars Group (PWG) established in 1980s in Andhra Pradesh under Kondapilli Sitharamaiah. The PWG drew heavily from Mao's objective to establish a people's government through guerrilla warfare, converting rural areas into liberated zones before encircling cities. Emergence of MCC. The Maoist Communist Center (MCC), originally formed as Dakshin Desh in 1969, also aimed to achieve a people's government through organized armed struggle. Setbacks, security operations, and internal conflict weakened the movement during this period. Phase 3. Consolidation and escalation 2000 to present. Phase 3 of Naxalism in India was marked by the formation of the People's Guerrilla Army in 2000, marking the transition to more coordinated violence. The PWG and MCC merged to form CPI Maoist, which became the most dominant and violent LWE outfit. Territorial spread by the 2000 Naxalism affected 233 districts in 20 states, particularly in the Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh. Parallel administration. Maoists operate a parallel judiciary and government in affected areas. LWE activities are now continued to 9 states: Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and West Bengal. Naxalism in India causes. Naxalism in India is caused by socio-economic inequalities, landlessness, exploitation of tribal communities, lack of development, unemployment, displacement due to mining projects, and ineffective governance in remote and marginalized regions, landlessness and agrarian distress. Widespread landlessness among marginalized communities and failure to implement land reforms have led to agrarian distress, exploitation by landlords, and deep-rooted dissatisfaction fueling support for the Naxalite movement. Exploitation of tribal communities. Tribal population in central and eastern India have long faced neglect, displacement due to mining and development projects, and exploitation by forest officials and contractors, creating fertile ground for insurgent ideologies. Poverty and economic inequality. Severe poverty, lack of employment opportunities, unequal distribution of resources in underdeveloped regions contribute to resentment against the state, making Naxal ideology appealing to the economically deprived. Lack of education and health services. The access of a quality education sector, healthcare, and basic infrastructure in remote and forested areas deepens alienation and mistrust toward government institutions, enabling extremist groups to gain influence and control. Poor governance and corruption. Administrative apathy, corruption at grassroots levels, and failure to deliver justice or basic entitlements push people toward national groups that promise swift and alternative systems of governance. Displacement due to industrialization. Unplanned industrial development and resource extraction have led to mass displacement without adequate rehabilitation, particularly affecting tribals and Dalits, intensifying their discontent and support for violent resistance. Police atrocities and state violence. Allegations of custodial torture, fake encounters, and heavy-handed operation by security forces have aggravated local grievances, reinforcing the Naxal narrative of state oppression and injustice. Challenges in combating Naxalism in India. Combating Naxalism in India faces challenges like difficult terrain, poor intelligence, guerrilla tactics, socio-economic grievances, legal concerns, and resource constraints which hinder effective operation and long-term resolution of the insurgency. Inadequate intelligence and coordination. Effective counter-insurgency operations require precise intelligence. However, gathering actionable information is challenging due to the rebels' deep integration with local communities and the lack of coordination among various government agencies. Ambush tactics and guerrilla warfare. Naxalites employ guerrilla tactics including ambushes and hit-and-run attacks, exploiting their familiarity with the terrain to inflict casualties on security forces and then disappearing into dense socio-economic grievances. Persistent issues like poverty, landlessness, and unemployment in affected regions fuel local support for Naxalism, complicating efforts to delegitimize the insurgency without addressing these underlying problems. Legal and human rights concerns. Operations against Naxalite must balance security objectives with human rights consideration. Allegation of access by security forces can erode public trust and inadvertently bolster insurgent propaganda. Resource constraint. Limited manpower, equipment, and funding for security forces impede sustained operation, while Naxalites often have access to illicit funds and arms, creating an asymmetry in capabilities. Naxalism in India. Government measures. The Indian government combats Naxalism through security operations, development programs, infrastructure expansion, improved governance, and rehabilitation policies to address both violence and the socio-economic grievances of affected communities. Security operations. Major operations like Operation Steeplechase 1971 and Operation Green Hunt 2009 deployed joint forces and specialized Cobra commandos to curb Naxalite activity. The Greyhounds in Andhra Pradesh and the Pastaria Battalion in Chhattisgarh represent focused efforts to invoke local youth, especially tribals, in counter-insurgency. The Unified Command 2010 was created to ensure interstate coordination among affected regions. Skill development. Initiatives like the Rosni scheme and the establishment of ITIs in LWE affected districts have been done to enhance employability. Development measures. The Forest Right Act 2006 empowers tribal communities, while the Civic Action Program (CAP) builds trust between locals and forces. Samadhan strategy, operational strategy to fight left-wing extremism. The strategy emphasizes smart leadership, aggressive strategy, motivation and training, actionable intelligence, dashboard-based performance metrics, hardening technology, action plans for theaters, no financial access for insurgents. Aspirational District Program, launched by the Government of India in January 2018, aims to rapidly transform 112 of the most underdeveloped districts across the country, including those affected by left-wing extremism. Media plans. A robust media plan counters Maoist propaganda via government messaging through various mediums, including youth exchange program. GIS mapping. This project maps financial services, school, post offices, health facilities, roads and security features across LWE affected areas, facilitating data-driven decisions for development and security.